Oh, alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to The King's Speech. So before we dive into the video proper, as I did last week, just a few quick kind of updates, disclaimers, things like that, before we get into things. So like I mentioned last week, uh, there is going to be a slight kind of like buzzing background noise, just because I do have a fan running here while I'm streaming, just because it is super hot in my room right now. And so I don't, get heat stroke or die. I need to have a fan running. But like I did last week, I did some tests already. Buzzing noise shouldn't really detract from the video itself, or shouldn't like drown out my voice or anything, so it shouldn't be too bad. But just wanted to let you know in case you're wondering what that noise was. Uh, and then some other things. So I upgraded my equipment a bit. So I got a new microphone. I got a new light. I'm so happy with. Most of you probably won't notice or recognize the difference, but before I had to have like two separate lights in this room just to kind of get the proper like lighting and everything done properly. But now I just got one big ring light. It's giving me exactly what I need. I thought I'd have to put it to the highest setting to get it, but nope. Lowest setting works really well, so I'm super happy with that. I know it's not gonna be like huge quality upgrade or anything, but it just makes me so happy to finally have just less equipment like stuff to like deal with and juggle around whenever I'm doing this. But yeah, I just wanted to gush about that a little bit. With that said, this is the Kaiju number 8 video, so that should be out this morning where I am. Right after I finish this, I'll record the One Piece review and put that out. And then I know a lot of you are wondering about Battle Angel Alita. Yes, I am getting back to the read-throughs today. I'm probably not going to live stream it just because I have some deliveries and other things happening today. And because of that, I might need to, pause for a little while to go deal with some things and come back. So I don't want to interrupt a live stream because of the time window where they give you like the 3 hour window. You don't know when they're going to show up. So because of that, I'm probably not going to live stream Alita this week. But because because I caught up to the series this week, so because I have a quarter of book 4 to go, and then the rest of volume 5, it'll probably take me 2 videos to get through everything. So for next week's, when I do like the finale stuff, I'll do a live stream then. But just want to let everyone know in case you're wondering, yes, Alita is coming out today, so don't worry about that. So without further ado, let us dive into Kaiju number 8, chapter 36 by Naoya Matsumoto. Before we get into this, I should mention, because I had this thought, and I forgot to mention it on last week's stream, but it occurred to me after I finished recording. I should have touched up on this. But I'm wondering if the direction this is going to go is to have, what's his face? God, what? I need to open up the wiki again so I can figure out what the hell his name was. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with name. Isao. If Isao was doing like the trophy thing, like, testing Kafka to be like, oh, are you going to give in to your kaiju urges? Are you going to show that you still have, your humanity? Are you going to hold on to that? And if Kafka's basically going to prove himself by like holding back his strength, not trying to kill the old man. So that thought occurred to me after I finished recording. I didn't have time to like go back and fix it or like add it on there. If that's the direction it's gonna go, I'm gonna have mixed feelings about that. But we'll talk about that once we finish the chapter. We'll see what state it goes. But yeah, we'll have thoughts about that. So you see Kokoro going, Kafka Hibino! As you see, Kafka's just kind of like stopping Sao's fist with both of his hands clenched in front, like kind of catch the fist as soon as it stops. To stop the punch, sorry. And she goes, oh, thank good. And she stops as she notices something. And as Sao goes, so you finally showed yourself, eh, Kaiju? And she goes, what's going on? He doesn't look. And we have, of course, translation by David Evelyn, lettering by Brandon Bovia. And we have a crack as you see his eyes are just like glowing and emanating. And you see these cracks starting to spread from there. As the Sao's kind of looking in surprise. And you see a cut tick as Kafka just lets out this huge primal scream in his kaiju form that's kind of just rocking the little containment room with the shockwave, and you see a BAM! As you see the windows on the containment thing are starting to crack. You have, what the? And Kikoro goes, I knew it, something isn't right. And Kafka's like, what's the deal? I can't control my body. And you see a crick, crick, crick. Like, I assume there's more cracks starting to show up in his kaiju form. He goes, damn it, at this rate, I'll never be able to prove I'm human. I'm acting like a full-blown kaiju. And you see like, kill. And you see kaiju, kill. And you see that weird-ass worm thing. So you see Kafka looking almost like Attack on Titan style, like where most of his lower body, like his upper arms have been kind of melded into like the kaiju's body. And you see the weird little worm thing that, first possessed him, turned him into a kaiju, kind of popping out his head. And you see Kafka just rushing forward. Oh, shit, yes. And he just powers up his little rocket knuckle and just fires a fist forward, and Sao just dodges out to the side casually. And he's like, he's fast, but he's still just a savage beast with no regard for how open he'll be after the attack. Oh, what the hell? And you see as he's launched past him, his upper body's starting to like warp and twist around back towards the cell as he fires his other rocket fist back towards him. And you see on the inside, Kafka's just like straining against the effort of his body's kind of being pulled all these ways. And you see a boom. Oh shit. As he smashes his house straight into the ground with a fist. Oh. And you see the old man just got his guard up right before the attack. And he goes, a self-mutilating attack with regeneration as a failsafe. He's like, so you intend to pull the rug out from under me if I apply human logic to this? And you have, no, stop! As the kaiju just starts wailing on him with a flurry of punches. And Koro's like, Daddy! And he's like, I'd already be dead if not for number 2 shield. And you see him just kind of like still having his guard up as he's trying to block the punches, but you see he's getting bloodied by the force of the hit still. And you see a whoosh as Kafka Isao kind of just kicks him off of him, like basically punts him above him so he can slip out from under him. I love this old man. And he takes a pose and goes, twist, the squadron style combat technique number 2. And he does force blast as he does another punch and sends Kafka flying. And you have, I don't know if we got Eye Patch's name, I'm just going to call him Eye Patch. We've got Eye Patch going, expanding the range of strikes with a sonic boom. That's the way number 2 would often attack. And you see, I assume that's just how looking confusion. Kafka's got like this huge crater in his chest. This is how it goes, the core. Oh, what the hell is going on? Hold on. The paneling is kind of weird, so I'm not sure what exactly is happening. It looks like Kafka popped out the core so he could act as a decoy for the body. So Sao goes, use the body as a decoy to regenerate from the core. And you see Kafka inside, like his eyes are going blank as he's like gritting his teeth, blood spurt, now his nose is bleeding. And he goes, fighting like this is just too much. My body isn't gonna last. And you see him and Isao just trading blows as the shockwaves are just completely destroying the containment area. You have, no way, the extra fortified shelter, it just broke 2 layers. The shelter can theoretically withstand up to fortitude 10. And you see Baldy going, a bit of damage is only natural. After all, this is what happens when you cross time and have 2 identified kaiju, number 2 and number 8, clashing head to head. And you see just the impression of like what kaiju number 2 looked like going off against Kafka. And you see them again just raining blows against each other. Gekoro's like, incredible. He's fighting on equal ground with an identified kaiju. And Baldy goes, still, it's odd. And Gekoro's like, odd? And he goes, if the Director General planned on killing him, he would have been better off taking him out with his first attack while number 8 was in human form. Yeah, this is kind of what I suspected this was going to happen. It almost seems as if he's purposely pushing number 8 to test him, though I'm not sure why. and you see Kikoro thinking back to her telling Isao, he has personally saved my life, so I humbly suggest a lenient punishment for her. He's like, don't tell me Daddy is. And she goes, he's giving Kafka Hibino a chance to survive? Oh, shit. And you see on the next one, a wham, as Isao takes a blow right to the gut. Bonnie's like, oh no. And you see Kafka's just kind of like looming over him as he looks even more monstrous. It looks like he's gotten a little bit bigger. And you have number 8's fortitude is starting to surpass Isao's estimations. And you see on the inside, the vein just popping out on Kafka as he's huffing and puffing, just struggling to try to keep control. So you have Kaiju Showcase hits June 10th. So I assume next week is going to be another one of the Showcase chapters. It'll be on break. But that's fine. So again, not too much to talk about or add to with regards to this chapter. It was mostly action-packed chapter, and I really loved that aspects of it. It was really well drawn, really well stylized, so no big complaints there. I'm not sure how I feel about it going kind of the tropey direction of, Isao like being like, oh, I'm gonna give you a chance to prove your humanity, blah blah blah. Not because I'm saying like, the trope itself is bad, like using it is bad or anything like that. But because we've now had, because the whole kind of like setup and reasoning for, Kafka deciding not to tell everyone he's a kaiju, like even what's her face? God, why is my brain so dead today? Just give me a second here. Even Mina, like, I wouldn't tell, like, the reason he didn't want to tell her, that he'd been transformed into kaiju, like, during whatever process, is because of, the kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? The disdain, kind of, like, the hatred they have for kaijus. And the fact that it's kind of being written off, like, the fact is being written off a little bit too easily, that, like, that fact that Isao and Mina are kind of willing to put aside their grudge and their resentment against kaijus so quickly, it feels like the author's trying to, kind of bypass dealing with that, like the complexities of the situation like that, where you'd have to kind of deal with kind of like, these complex mixed emotions with regards to kind of like Kafka, having hidden his identity, him trying to prove he's human, like the whole kaiju invasion, everything like that. Like, there still could be opportunities for this to be addressed in the story at some later point after this. And I suppose the justification for it could be that, as Kikoro was kind of thinking to herself, theorizing, is that, maybe Isao's doing this because Kikoro came to him and, said, can you do this for me as a personal favor? Same fact, Mina and the others have also kind of spoken up for Kafka and kind of given him their commendations, given him their support. I guess you kind of try to justify it in that way by saying, because so many people came forward to talk about Kafka's contributions and like his personality and his character and kind of like give him, kind of build him up, they're more willing to kind of play a little bit fast and loose with the rules and give him like the benefit of the doubt with regards to, the whole deal of what's going on. But I did hope we kind of see more of like the resentment kind of boiling up within like how he's reacting, like dealing with like more of the bureaucratic aspects of it. But like I said, I suppose it is still early. It could still happen in the next couple of chapters once we wrap this up. So it'll be interesting to kind of see where that happens, where that goes. I'm also going to throw my bet down on the idea that, because this is again conceptually like where my mind is kind of going with this, and could be conceptually interesting. I don't think the kaiju, like inside Kafka saying like, oh, he's like pulling out his base and seems like, oh, kaiju kill, that's what they do, blah blah blah. It's like, they say humans are like, it's just kind of reverting to like a primal like animalistic nature. it feels more like it's trying to get revenge against kaiju, like or feeling seeing or feeling, I think, because we know, like, from the earlier chapters that Kafka's kind of like, oh, I can feel, like, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm sorry, my brain is so dead today. But he sends, like, Kaiju number two's, like, spirit or presence, whatever, in the weapons that Isao was using. I think that's what triggered the Kaiju to kind of, like, go into, like, this overdrive mode, trying to, like, take it out. I think it has a grudge against other Kaiju, which is why it's kind of, like, gone to this mode of being like, oh, I have to take him out. Apologize for that. My dogs are barking at something outside. I don't want to drown out what I was trying to say. Yeah, but I'm laying my bets down on that this kaiju is looking at getting revenge against other kaiju. I'm not going to speculate on the reasonings, like why, like what his motivations are, because it's still too early. But I don't think it's a case of like, oh, it's trying to take out the humans, or like it just went, ballistic for no reason. I feel like because it sensed number two's presence, and it might potentially have a grudge against maybe number two specifically, but I think kaiju broadly in general, that's why I kind of reacted the way it did. So it'll be interesting to see what that happens. I don't think the fight's going to take too much longer. I think Isao either getting the weapons broken or something else is what's going to let Kafka take back control, or maybe he'll do it through sheer will. But we'll see. Really enjoyed the series as always. Still a lot of fun. Can't wait to see what the next chapter is going to be like. As always, if you like my content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. From perusing on Twitter a little bit, looks like Kaiju number 8 has been taken off in popularity. I'm seeing a lot more people on my timeline that are getting into it, recommending it to other people. So I'm really happy that a lot of other people are also getting into the series. Yeah, like I said, as soon as this video finishes uploading, my One Piece review should be out shortly after that, and then Battle Angel Alita will be out sometime this afternoon. Till next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.